for this very first official live, we invited this super talented, super awesome Claudia Echeverria, aka CLoD, who has been a friend of the ArtServe family for quite some time. Hi, Clau, how are you?
Hey, how are you guys? Love to be here. Such an honor. Thank you for inviting me.
We're so glad that you're here.
Oh yes, I love it. I love it.
So for the people that are watching that don't know who CLoD is, just tell me a little bit about yourself, about your background, who is CLoD. Just give us a short version.
Okay, so the short version of it is that I am like I was a TV producer, full-time mom, and TV producer just a few years ago, and after a 1 year around the world myself, we'll get there. Long story. I decided to become an artist full-time. It was my lifetime passion, and I always like dedicated just nights to it. So I decided to dedicate my 100% with it. So that was about 4 years ago, and ArtServe actually was the first community of artists that I joined, and it made a huge difference. Like joining ArtServe was like a guiding hand, in the process. I was kind of lost trying to figure my way through the art business, and they connected me to right people in like community exhibits, and involved me in really high quality galleries. So I'm very thankful for it. Now, after fast forwarded 4 years of my career, and I can say I'm truly lucky. I just recently did a solo show in New York, in Chelsea. In Chelsea was like the crave of the art in New York, and I have a museum show as we speak, showing at the Colorado Springs Museum of Art. Unfortunately, because of what's going on, no one gets to see it, but it's there. I think they're actually doing like virtual tours or something, but it's so I have my first solo museum show as well, and all of that has been thanks to ArtServe, because that was my first step was with you guys.
That's amazing. Thank you so much for sharing. So you started your journey as a professional artist at ArtServe. How was that transition from having a corporate job to become a full-time artist? And like, what role did ArtServe play in all this process?
Well, making the decision, being a mother of two, to actually switch to 100%, artist, it was not easy. I think it helped that after that 1 year trip around the world, I came back with all the intentions of looking a job as a TV producer, which was my career, what I educated in, and I didn't get an interview, not even an interview. It was, I don't know why, it was not happening. And after 3 months of that, it was like a message from above. It was like, okay, I get it. I understand. I need to dedicate myself to art. And as soon as I made the decision of like, I'm going to bet on myself, and I'm going to, even if I have to, to go to Lincoln Road every Saturday and sell little, my art, instead of, being my corporate office, I'm going to do that because it's what my soul wants. My soul, asked me to. So I decided to become a full-time artist. And as soon as I made a decision, doors started opening for me. Like someone recommended ArtServe. And then from there, I exhibited in a couple, I think you have like a year membership that I joined. And immediately I started participating in the exhibits, and there were like curators. I think I participated in like 2 or 3 exhibits that you guys do every 3 months. And then a curator came to ArtServe to look for artists for this awesome project at the Frank Gallery in Pembroke Pines. So it was a huge opportunity because I was showing my work with this like awesome artists that have been doing this for years and years. So it was a great opportunity for exposure, which is, I mean, we're all tired of that word, but it was a huge opportunity. And ArtServe was a platform that involved me in that, as well as like live painting at the W Hotel. So it was like things were happening, and it was like, oh my God, and people start noticing my work. I kept joining the ArtServe shows every 3 months. I got my prizes, and like, so it was just a way that I decided to ride. It was not easy. I'm not gonna say it was easy because it was not. It took me a lot of patience, a lot of persistence, and a lot of trust and believe in myself, but eventually you start getting the validation of the people, people start buying your pieces, and you start getting like prizes, so like awards, So yeah, I'm here 4 years later, survived. Yeah, living of it,
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So, tell me a little bit about your creative process. Is there like a specific ritual that you do, or like a special setup that you have? Like, I don't know, what does that moment look like for you?
Okay, so right now I'm at home because I moved my studio home, and because of where we're living right now. But when I'm in my studio, the process goes a little bit like this. I meditate first, because I think that what I do is I have to be clean of my fears, frustrations, and like, day-to-day stuff before I start the creative process. So I meditate first. And then after I do that, I go straight to the canvas. I mean, I do some sketches, but I do the sketches for fun. When I go to the canvas, I use the sketches that I do for ideas to develop the people that I come up with, but these characters. But I create the rough draft or the sketch directly pencil on the canvas. So I do like a rough draft, then I put color, then I use oil pastels, or we're gonna go through that. And I usually paint either a big piece or like 4 or 5 pieces at the same time, because I go like from one piece to another, and then I go back to the first one. What happens? Number one is like I have to wait till the paint to dry, and I'm not patient. Like, while the paint dries, I need to start doing something else. And another reason for that is that sometimes when you get, one-on-one with the canvas, sometimes you get stuck, in trying to make something work, and then you start forcing something into the piece. And then, so for me, it's amazing to, like, when something's not flowing, I just walk away from it and like, yeah, I'm gonna show you. I walk away from it and then work with like 1 or 2 pieces, and when I come back, I can see everything more clear. So about my process, do we have time to go over like what I use to paint and all of that? Okay.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Of course we do.
And,
yep.
So this is
I just wanted to let everybody know that the one thing that Claude was commenting on was that I was holding up a sheet of paper that says, I want to see those art supplies. And if you've got your art supplies right in front of you, like let's show it to the audience. Let's check it out.
So this is okay. This is a finished piece, right? And this is what it looks like when I am working on something. So I first lay like a small pencil, you know, sketch, and then I lay color on it. And then after I lay color on it and it dries, and it's really dry, I use, so first, what kind of paint do I use? I use this, you know, we all know, golden, really quality, good quality, whatever. But honestly, I use this too. Like, it's not, it doesn't have to be top quality paint when you're just creating, you know, the process. I even think like this brand is better than golden for white, for example. It's like, it's a process that you have to test, you know, it's like, depends on whatever medium, like whatever result you want to find, you want to get, the materials you use are going to be always different. So I use acrylic paint. All kinds of acrylic paint is good. I don't really mix colors, so I like the paint that is really that has a lot of coverage. But that's, you know, because of my style. And so for me, golden is really good. We'll know it, but this thing is so expensive that, you know, we really take care of it. What I use when I have a painting, like I use like this kind, I use this too. This is really good as well. I use those little gouaches. This pigment is really, really strong. They're amazing. Kind of expensive, but you only need just a little bit. What happens with this is that they're matte. They don't have that shiny look of the golden. So what I do is that I mix them with this gloss. So again, you can use the crappy paint, you mix it with this, and it looks awesome. You know, sometimes you have to go to different brands to get the hue that you want, but they don't have the finish you want to look like in your piece. So there's always the glosses that you can mix with the paint, and then you have a final product that is amazing. So after I do that, I finish in two different ways. I use this is when I first started painting. I started with acrylic paint, and then out of curiosity, when I first started painting, I went to the art store, and it was like a toy store for me. So I bought like one of each, you know, like one of each brand, one of each kind of like different brands of like pastels, and I tried them all. I just wanted to find my voice, and I came across this Sharpie. It's a Sharpie oil-based that I use to do my drawing. I consider my paintings to have like 3 steps really. It's like the color, the color base, which is what I'm doing right now here, and then the drawing. If you can see, like I use these markers to draw on top of the color that I use. So here I'm gonna do the famous lips that I do. I'm gonna do it for you here. I'm gonna share it so you can see. Okay, first of all, I absolutely love to paint outside the lines. It's what makes it special. It's what gives it that personality in the painting. And honestly, when I work with these materials, I actually go out of the line like in purpose. I'm gonna show you how. So this right there looks like a diamond. They're lips. I'll show you. So I go. See? So, and actually in this case, since the piece is so big, I usually go back back on it and I make like a second line. So that way I can actually give it a shape that I want. Yeah.
Hey, Claude, I think that we're getting some comments about your work, some questions. Jennifer, do you have any input about what's going on the screen right now?
Yes, we actually are getting a lot of comments on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
So let me just access that really quick. All right, so can everyone hear me?
We can hear you.
Okay, great. So from Michelle Rose Dome, she says, paint like a pro, yo. And
I take it.
Thank you, Michelle.
Oh, you know what? Some of my questions are missing, but I think I remembered them. We have Lee K. Davis, who's representing Pinellas County. Yeah, I see Ed nodding. She's watching.
That's awesome.
Hi, Lee. Welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah, we had, oh, some of my questions are gone. Ask your questions again, guys. They disappeared.
Ah, okay.
We
Hey,
have a
That's
lot
odd.
of people watching.
You can interrupt me. I don't care. It's
so
okay.
Claudia, can you just talk a little bit about like what is the concept behind your characters? You know, the characters that you do and your
Okay, yes. So where is it? Here, let's put it back on. So my people. So this is what happened. Ever since I was a little girl, I've been painting these people. Like when I was in middle school, you know, when you doodle what the teacher is talking, this is what I did. I did these characters. They were just part of my childhood. They were. I don't know where I don't know where I came. Where do I take them from? This is. Oh, thank you. This is. He says I love it. This is something that I have always been with me. And when I started painting, it was like amazing to like, okay, guys, now I'm really gonna, you know, give you color and life, and like, I'm gonna, you know, give you a personality, because before it was just, you know, pencil and paper. And for me, it was like a privilege to give them, you know, a life, a voice. And these are humans, actually. They look like creatures from outer space, but honestly, they're humans. They're what I express emotion with them. They all have like the, you know, fear, freaking out, worry, kind of like BS kind of attitude, like sheltering and protecting. This actually has to do with the pandemic and what are we living right now. And I actually in meditation, some of these scenarios come up, and I just try to reenact them as clean as possible. I try to just give my voice my voice just gets in the way because I am the one materializing them. But I try to, whatever inspiration comes, to not question it, not change it, not doubt, don't think about, are people gonna like it? People not gonna like it? Is it gonna be clear? No, I just try to be as clean as possible, as a clean channel as it possibly can be, and that's what I do. Honestly, I have many versions of this. Actually, what I show you right now here was working with this marker, but lately I am only working with oil pastels actually.
Hey, Claude.
Mm-hmm.
Claude, I have a question from one of our guests, Noah Waller.
Yeah.
He asks, I'm always curious how the environment you're in impacts the work you create. Your work feels very vibrant, positive. Do you think our social distancing will change that approach or reinforce it?
Well, honestly, during our social distancing situation, I just finished a piece. It's like 6 feet by 13 foot, you know, size. You know, it's like a like a 6 by 13 foot piece, huge, and it's
Wow.
called Pandemia. It's called Pandemia. It's about what we all living through. And that piece, well, I'm sure you can check it. We'll share guys the Instagram so you can see it there. And too big to show it here, and actually it's in my studio right now. Last piece I finished before coming home. And I'm gonna tell you, it's very colorful, still colorful and happy. I mean, it's not, I mean, let's be real, it's not happy. You know, where we're living, it's challenging, it's scary, but there are many faces of the situation that we're living right now. There's the face of the parents who are grateful for sharing some time with their kids. There's the face of someone who's, you know, in fear of their mother being in the hospital. There's someone who barely notices because they already work from home before. There's people who are feeding the fear, people who's taking the opportunity to going in and like reading and meditating and creating. And so I use color for everything. I think color is part of it all. It doesn't necessarily have to be happy, you know. My piece it's not a happy piece. It's like a very struggling piece, and you can see it in the faces of all the characters. And it's like red, blue, pink. You know, everything's happening there.
That sounds really exciting. I hope that's something that we can end up seeing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you will.
And I have another question from artist Lori Pratico. And she says, the piece Pandemia you are speaking about reminded me a lot of Picasso's, I'm not sure if I'm saying this right, Guernica? Are you,
yes.
How do you say it?
Yeah, the Guernica.
Guernica. Are you influenced by any specific artists?
Yes, Picasso. You got it. Picasso actually is, I really look up to Picasso. This guy, you know, he made it being alive as a painter, you know, and that's didn't happen before. Now, before you had to die before you made it, and he made it alive. And then, so what I love about Picasso is that after he did it all, after he painted for the kings and the churches and everybody, and he did Cubism and the blue era and the pink era and all of that, he was like, you know what? And now I'm gonna do what I want. And then he came up with the famous Picasso shapes that we all remember. So it is so beautiful how after he made all those amazing drawings, he came back to basics and like deconstruct the human form to which in the simpler way possible. So the Guernica is actually one of my favorite pieces in the world, and I loved it. And yes, of course, I was inspired by Guernica. I actually saw it in person in Spain in this 1 year trip around the world. Wow. I saw it I saw it there, and it was like a moment of like, oh my God, you know, you are there, and it's huge. It's huge piece. Like it's like I'm gonna say like 4 pandemias. Like it's a big piece, and he did a lot of studies before doing that. So yeah, obviously Picasso is one, and the other one is Basquiat. I love that Basquiat paints like a child, and he saw the power of that, you know, without going through the whole, like I think Picasso draws like a child, you know, the later Picasso, but Picasso had to go through the whole thing, but Basquiat did it, you know, just starting his career. He did it out of pain, I think, because he had like the drug addiction, and like his life was so painful, right? Mm-hmm. But I think that for different reasons, you can achieve the same you know, you can achieve a piece that express through different channels. It can be through happiness, through pain, through fear, through just knowledge and like a career like Picasso had. So yeah, we can be there. We can be talking about this like for days. So
Yeah, so you have a new fan from Noah Waller. He's checking out your Instagram right now. He said hashtag new fan.
yeah, great. Thank you.
Lori loved your piece. And Lee said she wants to see more of your art. She said, I love how you use different mediums within one painting.
Yeah, actually at the beginning I was like, is this mixed media? Is this expressionism? Is this, I don't know, what is this? I was trying to find my box. I was like, okay, which box am I? Am I mixed media? And I'm like acrylic, and I'm contemporary, and I'm like expressionism. But then I realized that I don't need a box. You know, I can make my own box eventually. You don't have to follow someone's steps. I think you just need to do you, and then the box even adapt to you, or you'll create your own, or, you know, the most important part is like to have your own voice.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. And Lee also said, don't worry about labeling it. It's you.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, but this is the thing. At the beginning, I was so insecure. Really, I was like second guessing, like, is this good enough? And I think that's the hardest part, because if you don't trust in your voice, then like people can tell in your pieces if you trust your voice or if you don't trust in your voice. It comes across. I can see it in my pieces, you know, when I started, and now in pandemia, I can see a huge difference. It's like, okay, this is an artist that is not sure about being good enough, and this is an artist that doesn't care. So, right. And that's what makes it I think that's what makes it special.
So
yeah, for sure.
A few days ago, we were talking about the intention of the mark, right? When you create your work and you put the intention on your brush, right? And you create with that state of mind, with that how can I say, with that truth, right, to yourself, to who you are, to what you want to say. Mm-hmm. So tell me a little bit about what, you know, like, what does that represent to you?
Okay, because I think, I believe, I truly believe that what separates an artist that is like someone who's starting, it doesn't necessarily have to be starting in their career, but like a good artist of there's no such thing as bad artists, but if there is a good artist and a bad artist, what differentiates, what separates them is like the good artist trust in their voice, and the bad artist does not trust. So it's trying to replicate something, or like correct what he did, not trusting in the process. And you can tell. It doesn't have to be like it doesn't. You don't have to have like a 5, 8, 10-year career to trust in your voice. You can trust in your voice from the beginning. The thing is, like, for us, it takes us some time to like realize, like, you know, I think I can trust in my voice. And someone like Basquiat, for example, like, he's trusting his voice like really early on. And I think that's what separates all of us. Me, Jennifer, Ed, we all have different points of view. if you ask all of us to draw lips, we all know how lips look like, but we all gonna draw different lips because we all have different points of view, different way to express. So it doesn't really matter how your lips look like. They're not good or bad. They're your lips. And that's what makes it special. Like this thing, no one really can do this other than me. You can replicate it and they're gonna have your intention, your trazo. How do you say trazo in English? Like your stroke. You know, your stroke. Your stroke is your signature. Like it's what makes you, it's what gives you your voice. So I think that you have, as an artist, the most important thing is to trust in your voice. Like everything else is inevitable. Like if you trust in your voice, like the more you practice, the better you get at listening to your voice. Like, because you want to listen to it, but like you still, you know, your fear comes across and then you start comparing yourself. And then like, the more you do it, the more you let go and the more you stay with your, with the cleaner version of your voice, of yourself, of your expression.
We're getting a comment online from Fabio Arbor, and he actually says that, hi, actually it's Jill Lefkowitz, I think, on the Fabio Arbor account.
Her. My friend.
Yeah, so welcome, Jill. Thank you. And thank you, Fabio, also for being a part of this great artist chat with CLoD. And she says, I totally agree. And your own voice is so important. So thank you for that comment, Jill. And CLoD, that's a fantastic viewpoint that you have there.
Yeah.
And also to trust your process, right? Just trusting your creative process and understand that it's a unique process. You know, I work with artists every single day of my life, and you know, one of the main struggles that artists suffer is just they, you know, it's not trusting your own process, getting impatient. You know, people just want to make it, and sometimes we just have to surrender ourselves to the creative process, and that's how everything will flow, right?
Yeah, I think
Yeah, for sure.
You have another question, Jennifer?
I do. I have a Tom Jones piping up. And
yeah, this is what it's all about. It's all about, you know, listen.
Absolutely. We have very interested viewers. He says authenticity is a product of trust. Tell it, CLoD. And he says perspective. And I'd like to hear how the current health crisis has impacted CLoD and other artists she knows.
Okay, so for example, in my case, I had 6 medium to large pieces negotiated already for sale in New York. 6! That's a lot. And
wow.
For us artists, you only can count with what is in your bank, because everybody loves your piece. You know, people love your pieces, and then, oh, I'm gonna buy one, this and that. But until it's not in your bank, you cannot count on it. So, and when it is, you have to really be smart to distribute your expenses and all of that. So 6 pieces is a lot. And the day that everything blew up in New York, it was the day that we had already agreed and we were going to close the deal. And the guy was like, I'm sorry, I think I'd rather wait to see what happens with this. Completely understandable. So that went out the drain. So, and of course, as soon as everybody started quarantining and going back into their places, like and losing their jobs and having to cut expenses, of course, a piece of art, it's not a necessary expense. So, or the art classes or the workshops, painting workshops that you were going to, that I did all of them. So yes, it's hard. It's hard because it's a moment where like you have to reinvent again. So, but this is the thing, I am not afraid of it. I think it's just an opportunity for growth, an opportunity for it to expand in different ways. As soon as, and on top of that, I had that museum show that I talked to you about. My first museum show, you know, it's kind of a big deal for an artist. It was, I had enough time to set up the show in the museum, and 1 week before opening night, they had to shut down the museum for 2 months. So all my pieces are there, and of course it's gonna be in my curriculum because, you know, they selected me for a solo show, awesome, but nobody got to see it, and they were all for sale, and they were actually awesome pieces, but then another missed opportunity. So
so sorry. So Lee Davis is asking to see more artwork. If we can see something more than the lips.
This, well, now here I have this one too. You see, the small one. And I have this piece as well.
Wow, that's beautiful.
Yeah. All of these pieces I did on live stream through my Instagram. Actually, the very last that I did was this one, and I raffled this piece, and one of the viewers won it, and it's this piece. You see it? Yeah, I think.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, this piece. I raffled this piece with all the people that joined me during the live Instagram live. I actually paint all these pieces from scratch during the Instagram live. They're like 3 hours long, but I don't know.
Amazing, amazing. Lee Davis also said she loves the characters within the characters.
Yeah, exactly. All of them have like different expressions. They're like, I don't know, this one is scared or like asombrado. How do you say that? Like surprise. This one is kind of like, you know, it's like Zen mode, kind of like in his power, and you know, it's like this one's looking at this one's statement, which is stays the F home, and you know, it's like I love to have the characters interact with each other because this is humanity. We all. And this is what it is. This is humanity. This is what I'm trying to represent with these characters.
I want to remind our audience, and there's some.
You have echo.
A little echo there. Can you hear me? I hope there's no echo now.
That's a lot better.
Yeah.
But I do want to remind our audience that they are watching ArtServe Live right now. And ArtServe Live, we're in the process of coming up with a bunch of online programming, and we would love our artists who are watching and anyone who is a creative professional to get involved with what we're doing and to comment and write to us on Facebook Messenger and give us your concepts and your ideas for shows that you would want to produce with ArtServe. The show that we're doing right now is the Paint and Chat with CLoD, and this is an ArtServe Live production, and we want to support CLoD by asking everybody who's watching to hit her up. You can actually donate to CLoD if you're inspired by her artwork, and you can Venmo her at CLoD, and you can see it at the bottom of your screen, at CLoD. And I am seeing on my Facebook feed. When I said your Venmo account, Claude, there were a lot of hearts that just popped up on my Facebook feed.
Thank you so much, guys. You know, it means a lot.
Of loving the arts, I also just want to pivot really quickly to say that in the middle of this art chat, you can support ArtServe if you like the programming that you're seeing right now and you want to support more programming like this at the intersection of art and social impact, then I would ask you to please go to artserve.org/give-now. You can see it in yellow right there. Go to artserve.org and please donate to ArtServe so we can continue to bring you this excellent programming that will do what the arts is doing right now. We are saving the world through the arts. While everybody shelters in place, they are turning to the arts, to movies and to podcasts, and they are turning to our artistic products to keep themselves from going crazy at home. And that's what we're doing here with CLoD. And once more, we're going to get right back to CLoD, but I just wanted to tell you guys that you're watching the Paint and Chat, and this is ArtServe Live. Let's go back to CLoD.
You're awesome, I see it. Well, actually, the piece that I'm standing before in that picture where I look like a crazy artist, I love it. I was like, ooh, I have that crazy artist look. I was like, well, in that piece, I'm standing in that picture, I'm standing in front of that piece Pandemia, which is like bigger than me. And actually, if you want to see more of my work, guys, there's my website, which is claudeclod.com, or my Instagram, which is akaclod. You know, Instagram is always better because I have it there, and I like, I'm very active there. But you know, all of my work is in my page and is, you know, by collection. So if you want to see all that I do, like organized and everything, maybe the website is the best place. But there's also a comment box. So if you want to ask me anything or any suggestions or whatever, I'm open to anything. And well, what else you want to do before we go?
Well, we do have an, oh, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
We have another question from Rebecca. And Rebecca asked, does your art have a message that you want your audience to believe?
You're asking, is she asking about my, if my art has a message for everybody? They always, my pieces always have a message, always. I am very proud of that. It's what drives me, really. I do, all of my pieces are very aesthetic. They're beautiful, they're pretty, the colors are like very, it looks very happy, but always there's an underlying message in everything that I do. It usually comes up straight up from the piece. Like in this piece, is actually there's actually, you know, a statement right there in the piece. It's like stay the F home. So you basically have an idea of what's happening here. But when there's not literally written in the paint, it's the name of the piece has a lot to do with the meaning of the piece. And when I name a piece, I usually like open a door for you to wander in that direction. It's not a must, and of course everybody interprets a piece from their point of view, from wherever place they are experiencing life. But I always open a door, like an invitation to take a look within themselves. The pieces usually work as mirrors. They touch something in you that makes you see a place within yourself, or makes you remind you of someone. And all of that is nothing more than information about yourself. It's if you see something that reminds you of someone, it's information about how you feel with that person, how you feel with this other person. And you'll understand if you see my pieces and you know, go look for the names, you'll see what I'm talking about. And usually the name and whatever is written on the piece has like a conversation. So I felt safe with you guys. You hold my hand when I was starting and helped me do my first steps. With you guys, I did my first solo show in one of your small galleries. With you guys, I painted in the, you know, a hotel that I always wanted to be related to, which was the W. And the first like serious gallery where my work was exhibited was with you guys as well. So and the opportunities keep coming. So thank you so much for everything you guys do for the arts, and I just, you know, hope that you can expand and help more artists like I was.